JDs and gentlemen, guys and burls, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about gray zone warfare. We've talked about it a couple times here on the channel, and I just wanted to kind of sum up both those videos into one and kind of give my thoughts and opinions as an outsider looking in when it comes to what I would like to see from this game, or at least give my thoughts and opinions as someone who's primarily not into the mill sim and the extraction and that style game. I'm more of like the arcadey first-person shooters, so looking to kind of give my creative touch on that and answer some of your guys' questions. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Turn on those post notification bells so you guys never miss an upload. It means the world to me. We upload almost every single day here on the channel. We got a growing community, and it's a lot of commentary, discussion, and fun, so I would love to have you guys around. But nonetheless, let's hop into today's video. So if you guys haven't seen any videos or any information or anything like that on Gray Zone Warfare, it's a game that you might not understand because a lot of people are kind of tailoring it towards the idea of Escape from Tarkov. And I myself did that at first, but after talking to the devs and kind of getting some more input from dev kits and other stuff that they sent me, I figured out that Gray Zone Warfare is more than just the extraction style shooter. It's kind of taking the best of everything and merging them into one game. And the way I described it before was if you took Escape from Tarkov, Far Cry, a game like Stalker that has survival aspects, merged them all into one and just created this crazy baby of a game that is an open sandbox game that's going to allow you to play in a way you want to play, but has those exact elements of milsim, realism, and extreme hardcore style games that are, hard, grueling, and really rewarding in the end. And that's what makes Gray Zone Warfare so unique. Is it just seems to be a game that is limitless, that is allowing so much to go on. And the one thing that caught my attention recently that they did in an interview was they were talking about the game being able to be PvE offline. I've had a lot, and when I say a lot of comments of people and even my friends saying, I hope this game, because it has a full story, a full lore, that they hope it's going to have an offline mode in a sense where you can just play the story against AIs, and they said they're going to have dedicated servers to that. Now, a rebuttal I would give in that situation is I hope that the loot isn't transferable between the PvE and the PvEVP. I think I messed that up, or maybe I didn't, but I'm hoping that there's separate entities because little cheese in it. If you want to go into PvE, go through, get everything you can, that's the best gear, and then hop over to the PvP kind of servers and just kind of run through those lobbies. I'm hoping that's not what happens, and it's like a separate thing. So if you do want to play PvE on your own, have a second kind of work around a different faction, whatever it might be, you can go do that and not have to worry. But when it comes to myself, I'll most likely be on the PvP side of things the most. I talked about this in my previous video as well, is I'm a solo content creator. Most of my content on the channel is solo content. I know most of my content's commentaries because most of the games I talk about, either one, haven't released yet, or two, we haven't been able to get our hands on. So most of my content revolves around solo stuff. And I'm hoping a game like this is a little more forgiving yet still rewarding compared to Tarkov. I can't find myself playing Tarkov solo. It's just something to me that it's not fun. And I still hope that I'm able to hop into a solo PvP style game where it's like, I've said this before, they've said it many times, it's PvEVP. So when I say PvP, I'm just kind of referring to the server that you'll be on, but imagine the environment is always going to come first. Those solo experiences against the AI and against other players are supposed to be unique. They're going to be something that I want to feel that thrill of being a lone wolf out there and making decisions matter, and going into situations are going to be crucial. I want to have moments where I'm laying down in brush and a full team of PMCs walks right by me, and it's up to me whether I want to engage or not engage. And I mean, most of the time, probably not going to engage unless it's something I can do at distance. And that's what I'm hoping to look forward to. I'm hoping that the solo side of things is more entertaining than not. One thing I can say that I would just kind of preach to the devs in this, and if they're watching, and they do a very good job of reaching out to creators, watching their content, and giving feedback, my one thing I will say is do not overcomplicate the armor system and the ballistic systems too much. The biggest fault of Escape from Tarkov that turned a lot of new players away was the idea of ballistics and the kind of armor system. And looking at the most recent Tarkov experience of the newest season for Tarkov, it is the most rejoiced and rewarding season for new players, for people who have returned to the game, and it is making Tarkov a different experience overall. They completely reworked the armor system. They completely reworked a lot of the bullets and hit detection and all that kind of stuff. And it really changed the game from being a grungy, if you don't sink 40 hours into the game, you kind of wouldn't be good at it, is how Tarkov used to be. And now it's, I don't want to say it's pick up and play, but it's becoming more user-friendly. And I know they want this to be a gruesome sandbox, immersive military simulator, but we got to keep one thing in mind, is that in the back of the mind and everything that has to do with video games, well, games are meant to have fun. And I don't want to find myself frustrated because maybe I'm not the best player at X thing or whatever it is, and that's all because of the game being too difficult. Now, I'm not saying don't make your game difficult. I'm not saying that at all. Please, make the game as immersive as you can, but keep in mind those little things that keep player retention and kind of keeping players coming back. So that's my opinion from an outside looking in when it comes to something like that, because I know as someone who's an arena style player who doesn't play many milsim games that, you have to grind out and put a ton of time into, I know my friends were afraid of Tarkov for the reasons of armor and ballistic, and now even friends have never played the game before were able to hop on and play and enjoy it again. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm not saying go away from the idea that they have, but just my thoughts and opinions there. Another really big one that obviously they're probably not going to be able to implement right away that I would love to know more about is seasonal weather. One of another big things for Escape from Tarkov was having snow on the map and knowing that seasons are going to change. I think seasonal weather would be great. Obviously, we're in an island now, so snow, not realistic, but rain in the foliage changing and stuff like that, obviously, coming at a later date. Let's get the game polished and optimized enough that we can play the game before we start talking about the leaves changing colors and stuff. But looking into the future and the content that could come later in the replayability and stuff, let's make sure that's something we definitely do, because I think it brings players back. It gives a more unique experience. And honestly, if you don't change locations or add new things or anything, even that just slight weather change is enough for players to feel re-immersed into a map that they've maybe already played once or twice. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, obviously, a lot of people are worried about indie dev studios now and making games and all this kind of stuff because of that whole day before fiasco or whatever the game was called, because everything that went wrong with that game. We've already got reassurance from Grayzone Warfare kind of talking about, hey, we don't want to be like that. They set a horrible standard for indie studios. And I'm going to say this real quick, and you guys might agree or disagree with me, but right now in my mind, there aren't many AAA studios that I trust to make a fully polished, fun game. There aren't many studios out there right now that I really do think of as, oh, what a great studio to make a game. Baldur's Gate 3 is like the premier title look of a game that every studio should be held accountable for in the AAA world. When you're an indie studio or an indie dev or kind of anything like that, just making a game on your own, I don't expect things to be perfect. And I think that's kind of an issue that we've gotten with a lot of, consumers and a lot of gamers nowadays, is they just expect perfection. And you got to come into things with an open mind, understand there's going to be issues, there's going to be problems. And as a content creator who covers a ton of games here, I've played many games in early access, in indie development, in so many different phases and facets of them all. And I've seen everything from major bugs to minor bugs, and I've seen game-breaking things to non-game-breaking things. So the one thing I can say that a lot of studios fail to do that is a big turnoff, especially for me as a content creator or as gamers or whatever it is hearing dev studios talk about a game and how good it's going to be and all this stuff. Then the game launches, it has major bugs, and they give no communication on updates. They give no communication on what's going on. And now, obviously, I don't expect devs to come out and tell me every single thing they're doing, but allowing your community to know what's going on behind closed doors, kind of in the process of when you plan to have things done, is huge for a game. And I'm talking on Twitter, I'm talking in the Discord server, whatever it might take, just to let people know what is going on. Because when there's no clarity and there's no communication, the people will run from your game. And when you're a paid game, that's something that at first you kind of have to iron out with playtest and early access, which I'm very happy that Grayzone Warfare is going along with that and having these playtests and stuff that they plan on doing for early access, because ironing out all this stuff to have people buy a game is terrifying, because a major bug on a purchase is an instant refund for many, many people. Now, I might not be one if I'm passionate behind the game and making content on it and whatever it might be, but for the average consumer who wants to just sit down and play a game, major bugs at launch is a huge turnoff. But honestly, guys, that's kind of all I have for this video. I just wanted to talk real quick with you guys and give my thoughts and opinions on like what I think could happen with Grayzone Warfare and give my input from the outside looking in with just a brief synopsis in the beginning to kind of let you guys know what the game's all about. Make sure to check out everything there is to know about Grayzone Warfare. There'll be a wish list link down in the description to Steam. Wishlist it. Early access is right around the corner. The devs are amazing. Talking to them has been great, and finding out more information on the game is awesome. So stay up to date with the channel because I'm going to be updating you guys all the time on any news on Grayzone Warfare. It's going to be one of our 3 games that we really push on the channel here because it's something that I've started to gain a little passion for, especially talking to a dev directly and just learning more about the game. It's, you know, what makes games good. There's heart and soul put into this one. So I love you guys to death. I appreciate all of the support here recently on the channel. You guys are beautiful, one of a kind. And until next time, guys, deuces.